I'll be reading this book. It's called Sprouting Seed Science Projects. I won't discuss the science projects. You'll need to check out the book to look at those, but this will give us some information about growing plants from seeds. The book is written by Anne Benbow and Colin Mabley, and illustrations are by Tom Labath. Sprouting seed. It asks some interesting questions in the book, and let's see if we can figure some of it out. Okay, what is in a seed? The explanation: each plant seed contains a baby plant called an embryo and food for that embryo to grow. In corn, the food is the endosperm. In beans, the food is stored in the seed leaves called cotyledons. There is also a seed coat to protect what is inside the seed. You might have noticed that there were 2 seed leaves in the lima bean and only one very small one in the corn seed. Plants with 1 seed leaf are called monocots, and plants with 2 seed leaves are called dicots. These are the 2 main groups of plants. Other examples of monocots are grasses, lilies, and onions, and examples of dicots are maples, oaks, geraniums, dandelions, and roses. And there's an illustration of the inside of seeds. Next question: how are seeds the same and different? It shows you the experiment. And here's the explanation. Seeds from flowering plants have the same basic parts. They can, however, be different in many ways. Some, like the avocado seed and the acorn, have tough coats. Seeds can be tiny or large. Burrs, coconuts, and maple seeds look like seeds, but they are fruits with seeds inside them. Popcorn is able to pop because the microwave oven heats up the water inside the corn seed until the seed explodes. The white puffy part of the popcorn is the food stored inside the seed. The next question: how do seeds get around? The explanation: seeds can travel in many different ways. Some seeds, such as maple seeds and dandelion seeds, are very light. They have special parts that help them float on the wind. Other seeds, especially those in tasty fruits, get eaten by animals and left behind with the animal's waste. Still, other seeds can fall into water and float to new places. Seeds with sticky parts on them, such as sweet gum and burrs, can end up on the fur of animals and then get dropped far away. Milkweed pods and cattail spikes explode to release the seeds and give them a boost into the air. Question 4 for a set of experiments: how long do different seeds take to sprout? The explanation: one thing that affects the time for a seed to start growing is the chemicals inside the seed. Different seeds have different chemicals to tell them when to start growing. Grass seeds usually grow very quickly, some just a few days after planting. It may take another kind of seed much longer. Another thing that affects the time is the amount of food, or endosperm, in the seed. The more food stored inside a seed to feed the embryo, the longer that seed can take to start growing. A grass seed has less food stored inside it than either a radish or a cucumber seed. It has to sprout quickly so that it can begin getting its food from the soil and the sun. So the smaller the seed, the quicker it grows. In which direction do roots and shoots grow? Is the question. And the explanation: in plants, roots grow toward the center of the earth. Shoots grow away from the earth's center. Chemicals in a plant's roots and shoots cause this to happen. The force of gravity attracts the roots to grow in a downward direction. Even if you plant the sprouting seeds roots side up, the roots will still grow downward and the shoots will grow up. So you can think you're planting a seed upside down, but something in the seed lets it know which way the roots grow and which way the shoot grows. Which seeds have oil in them? And they did the experiments for that. And here's the explanation. A seed contains food for the baby plant embryo inside it. Some of that food may be oil. When you rub seeds that have lots of oil in them on brown paper, the paper soaks up the oil. You are able to see light through the oily part of the paper. This is an easy way to test seeds and other types of food for oil. And you can try doing that with a potato chip, for example. Here we had talked about George Washington Carver, and here is showing George Washington Carver doing an example of him doing some of the dozens of experiments he did with peanuts. And we do get oil from peanuts still today. Humans and other animals can get energy from these oil-carrying seeds. We can squeeze these seeds to get oil out of them. Think of olive oil, peanut oil, grapeseed oil, canola oil, corn oil, and many others. Your parents, your moms and dads cook with these oils. How well do seeds grow in different soils? So they had the experiment, which you can read on your own, and here's the explanation. Soil is a mixture of many things. The size of particles in soil can vary. Some are small and others are large. Soil also has nutrients that help seeds and plants grow. Extra nutrients can be added to soil if needed. Radishes grow best in potting soil because it has small particles and added nutrients. Sand has small particles but no nutrients. Soil from a yard may or may not be good for radishes. It depends on the size of the particles in the soil and whether it has enough nutrients. Now, one thing about using yard soil, you also have the chance of getting insect eggs or something, and when you plant your plants, that the eggs will hatch and grow and eat your little plants. Can seeds sprout in cold conditions? An explanation: when the weather gets colder, plants do not grow as quickly and they may lose their leaves. Cold weather also affects a plant's seeds. They need warmth to sprout. As long as it is cold, they will not sprout. The seeds you had at room temperature should have sprouted first. The seeds in the refrigerator should have sprouted later, and those in the freezer will not sprout. So that's describing an experiment that you can do. Seeds from many plants are not active in winter. They are asleep or dormant. When the weather gets warmer, the seeds are able to absorb water, then they can sprout. Can some plants grow without seeds? Some plants can grow roots and shoots without seeds. Cuttings from these plants can grow roots if you put them in water. The tip of the plant is where most of the growing happens. Swedish ivy, geraniums, African violets, coleus plants, and many others can be grown from cuttings. Potato eyes will sprout new plants over time too. The plants these cuttings produce are exact copies of the parent plant. In farming, this can be very useful for producing crops that look and taste the same. Where can you find seeds in fruits? An explanation. Plant scientists group fruits according to how their seeds are arranged. The tomato, lemon, banana, and blueberry are all berries because they have lots of small seeds inside. Many people call strawberries and raspberries berries, even though their seeds are on the outside. Scientists, however, call them aggregate fruits. Apples and pears, which have seeds inside in a star-like pattern, are called pomes. Fruits with a tough skin and lots of seeds inside, like lemons, oranges, and limes, are all called Hesperidia, or citrus fruits. Fruits with one hard seed inside, a peach, plum, or apricot, are called drupes. A lot to learn, right? So that was the most of the content for this book. It does include words to know, and the words to know is always a good thing to look at in a book, a glossary, so it can help you understand everything in there. This author also gives other books to read and suggests some internet sites for you to get a better understanding. But this was Sprouting Seed, and this book has several science projects, so you can keep that in mind for making the required science experiments. Written by Anne Benebow and Colin Mabley. Illustrations by Tom Labath.